Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Kerbal Space Program. Here we are, where we left our Intrepid explorers in stable orbit, a little higher above Kerbin than we would have liked, but not too far out. Thinking about how best to approach the moon. The thing is, with our periapsis at 119 kilometers, every ounce of fuel that we spend is that much less effective than it would be if our periapsis were at, say, 70,000 meters. And we have this upper stage engine that we're not really doing much with, right? But we have some fuel in it that I'd like to get some use out of. And if I try to use it as part of the munar burn, as part of our escape from Kerbin burn, really, it's going to be a bit awkward to transition from that to the upper stage stuff. So what I'm actually thinking is a bit silly, but hear me out. I'm thinking of going to apoapsis around Kerbin, and, wait. No. Go to periapsis? I want to make our orbit circular, and I'm just not sure if I should make it circular high or circular low. I think circular low is better, because then we have maximum control whichever direction we decide to point. With this kind of wobbly orbit, it's just a lot easier to go in that direction than in this direction, and this is the direction we'd like to go. So I'd like to lower our apoapsis here. Which means, actually, could you get us pointing retrograde, please? We're coming up on periapsis right away, and if we're going to lower this, now's the time. Oh, look, it's put the target there, the moon. We happen to be pointing right at the moon as well. So when do we get here? Add maneuver. 1 minute. Okay. So I just want to do a quick little burn of the rest of our fuel to lower our apoapsis. I don't really want to set a maneuver. I just wanted to see how far it would be until we get there. How much fuel do we have left? I don't know. 10, 20 seconds maybe? So when we get maybe 20 seconds away, I'll just burn, and we'll see how that goes. And that should circularize our orbit a little bit lower, so that it's a bit easier to maneuver. And then we'll do the rest of the maneuvering with our actual orbital stage. Yeah, let's go ahead and burn off the rest of our fuel. Keep an eye on... No, stop! Oh, I went far too far. Wow, I didn't think we had enough fuel to do that much damage. We'll get prograde. Reverse! Undo that terrible mistake. Jeez, I didn't think we were gonna make it move that quickly. I guess I should have burned a little bit less aggressively, huh? Alright, now we're just throttling up a little bit. Okay, that's a lot more regular. And we actually still have, like, a little bit of fuel left, which I did not expect. I thought we were going to empty the whole fuel tank without making that much difference. But, see, when you're this close to a planet's influence, every amount of... all of... any fuel you burn has a huge impact. So, cool. Let's then get rid of this maneuver. And warp to, like, here, so that we can either... Well, actually, hang on. Let's just stop. Let's add a maneuver at periapsis, and first of all, see, is having a high orbit here good? It might be. This is kind of the direction we want to go anyway to get to the moon, so maybe regularizing would be a bad idea. Whoa. Apparently scrolling on these does something? Oh, scrolling on these is like fine adjustments compared to pulling on them. Interesting. Well, I've thoroughly ruined that in maneuver, so let's add a new one. Add a maneuver here, and say we were to burn prograde. Is this going to get us to the moon, or just to the same orbit as the moon? Alright, there's the moon catching up to us. So that gets us to the right distance. If we burn further... Yeah, okay. So let's scrolling is small. So this gets us basically to, we're at the same orbital distance as the moon, but it's well behind us. One thing we could do is we could burn sooner and try to catch the moon over here. Sort of point our orbit extension. Instead of pointing it here, we could point it here. But another thing we could do is aim to the same place, but a bit further out, so that we catch it on this backswing, sort of. We'll be going very slowly when we're out at the lunar orbit. So we'll basically just sort of hang there, giving it time to catch up to us. So that seems to have done some pretty cool stuff. Our moon periapsis will be 349 kilometers? That should be plenty close to get into a regular orbit, I think. So what I'm thinking we do is we jettison immediately our extra stage here. We could squeeze out a tiny bit of value out of this extra fuel, but it's just going to be more work than it's worth, so see you later. Make sure we're throttled all the way down, and turn on the upper stage engine, but don't actually use it. Great. Now, we're going to have to burn for how long here? Just 36 seconds, huh? I don't know if I believe that. It might be still thinking we have an engine as strong as our last one. So I'm going to go ahead and actually delete this maneuver and put a new one in. I just don't trust what I saw there, just in case. It was probably right, but... Okay... Whoop. What's our periapsis look like now? Where is it, even? The moon periapsis, 345 kilometers. So we'll be here, and the moon will be here. And I think it'll be a relatively small burn to bring us into... Wait, our periapsis is that far? That seems pretty far. What if I rotate this and burn a bit later? Earlier? The moon periapsis, 11 million meters. Well, that's not very good. We were doing better earlier. How about this? Honestly, I feel like we had the best shot just with the obvious thing, and then messed it up. The moon periapsis, 148 million meters? No, 1,000 meters. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. Can we burn a little bit less? Will that make things better or worse? Looks like it's making things better. Periapsis 182 kilometers? 228. Okay, so we don't want to pull that lever. We want to pull this one. 147. Where is our moon periapsis? Am I like just ruining everything? Go back. The moon periapsis. We were at like 100 something, right? Okay, so this is the wrong way to adjust things. I should just, once I get something kind of reasonable, I should stop trying to fix it. Moon periapsis, 300,000 meters. 200,000 meters. 100,000 meters. Okay, that seems fine. I'll take it. This is a 36-second burn at periapsis with our current engine. That's less than I would have guessed. Being in a low orbit does make a big difference, I think. Alright, well, let's see. Could we get to prograde, please? I guess we're already prograde. Okay. And let's just warp to, I don't know, here? Cool. So we want to do a 36-second burn. And that's 1 minute 12 seconds if we double it, so it's about ready to start burning here. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's keep an eye on this. Again, it's not going to be perfect because we aren't able to dump all of our velocity exactly at the encounter node, but it's a good approximation. And this is hardly using up any fuel compared to the amount that we're bringing with us. It's always so nerve-wracking to watch this grow and, like, is it growing in the right direction? Did we mess something up? I'm not too concerned about us running out of fuel, but that's another thing that you could worry about if we had less of it. Fortunately, we saved a lot on the way up by getting into a pretty reasonable orbit with just our... mostly with our solid booster stage, honestly. And then just fixing it up with the liquid stage. Okay, now it's starting to grow real fast. Get ready to cut the engines once it lines up roughly with what we see here. And... stop! Alright. Wait a minute. Is this right? What's our periapsis here? Moon... periapsis. No, stop, stop, stop! Oh my gosh, we made it way worse. Get retrograde and fire a bit more. We overshot. This is still an encounter, but it could be a better one. Where's our moon periapsis? Coming down, down, down. I'll take it. Oh, 11,000 meters. I'm worried we might actually be going too fast when we get there. We're going to be doing a big ol'... we're going to be buzzing it, right? Like, jeez. But that's fine. We'll just burn as we're flying by to lower our speed to the appropriate amount. Whew. Alright, that was a bit stressful. You'd think these planned maneuvers would make this stuff easy, but the fact that there are physical limitations, you can't just dump all your velocity exactly at the moment you want to, means that it's a bit more fiddly than it seems to me like I would expect. But okay, let's just warp to, say, here? Or, wait, can I... yeah, remove this encounter. Or maneuver. And let's warp to, like, here. Oh, yeah, look, we left that upper stage in orbit. It's just space junk forever. It didn't land like all of our previous stuff has done, because we got into orbit without using that stage up. Cool. Okay, so now... if we look out the window, the moon ought to be pretty big, and around here somewhere, yep, hard to miss. And there's the planet, there's the moon. Sun's over there. Cool. Look at this weird shape we've got. Broop. It really is slingshotting us right around the moon, back in, I guess. So when we get to around here is where we're going to burn to circularize our moon orbit. Or really to enter moon orbit, because we won't... right now we're properly in like what you might call an orbit, but hyperbolic orbits don't really count because you just swing right by them. Okay, so let's... our periapsis is over there, which means that is where we want to do our burn. So I think it's perfectly safe to warp to our encounter. Look how slow we're going with respect to Kerbin. Like 175 meters per second. Okay, and now we're in orbit around the moon. How fast are we going to be going when we get there? Not that fast, right? So let's add a maneuver. Burn retrograde. And that should bring just a little tiny retrograde burn. Oh yeah, this costs no fuel at all. Look at this. 15 seconds of burning compared to like a minute and a half to get us over here. I think that's fine. That's a quite low orbit. Ooh, I accidentally did a thing. All right, well whatever. Get out of here. We'll just re-add that maneuver. This is honestly a fine orbit. We don't need to become perfectly circular, but I guess it wouldn't hurt. We have the fuel. Well, if we burn that much, we might accidentally lower our periapsis into a mountain. So maybe we don't go that crazy. Let's just settle for a high-ish orbit of 675 kilometers. And that's just a 10-second burn, nice and easy. And how long till we get there? An hour. Well, we're going to want to time warp a bit, I think. To like, I don't know, here? This says warp here, right? Yeah. So this is why we're slingshotting off the moon, like we're going real close by it, and it's whipping us around from Kerbin's perspective. Yeah, so get us we're burning retrograde, right? We must be, yeah. Cool. Oh man, look at this. We're so close up. Actually, what would happen if we did some science right now? Does this count as being in orbit? Or is this flying low over it, or what? Crew report. This is in space near the moon. Okay, sure. I'll take it, I guess. You know what? Actually, forget this report. We're going to do one while we're in orbit, and then when the tourists come by and we want to do a flyby, that's when we'll do this high-up stuff. Cool. So, we're just a couple minutes away from this burn. So let's multiply by 5, make it just a few seconds away. And we don't really have to do much to compensate for the fact that we can't dump out all our delta V at once, because it's only 11 seconds to burn. So I'm going to wait until we're pretty much at the node to burn. Alright, this should be fine. Reorient ourselves. Thank you very much, Neil Bald. And thrusters on in 3, 2, 1... go. Alright, I'm thrusting a little bit more slowly here so we can line this up more precisely. And stop! Oh my gosh, what a perfect maneuver. Look at these. They look identical. So maybe it actually does predict what time you should start the burn. It used to be in some previous versions that you had to kind of spread yourself across the two sides, but maybe you're not supposed to anymore, and that's why I've been doing things wrong. Alright, look at this. Are we in orbit near the moon? Did this really happen? Hello? Contract. Orbit the moon, yes. Return from the moon, not yet. And look, we have entered orbit of the moon. So we got a bonus from somebody. Mission Control is still debating the best way to get you home. You packed a toothbrush, right? Yeah, fortunately, our Mission Control in real life planned this out ahead of time. But let's celebrate. Just look around a bit. I wonder if Neil Bald can see anything. No, there's really nothing up there. You know what? Let's actually give him a little treat. There's the moon. I just rolled it a bit there for fun, or I made him roll it. I guess he's the one in charge. He seems like he deserves it. Cool. And you know, there's the bright side and some craters and stuff. Really nice looking moon. A lot of little tiny craters. A few big ones. Kind of lumpy, but more or less spherical, right? Cool. Alright. Yeah, get out of the cabin view, though. Let's start doing the science we came up here to do. Crew report. What do you think? You look at the surface of the moon and try to find a good landing space. The inside of the craters might be the best option. Interesting choice. We're not gonna land, though. We didn't pack our landing gear. But I'm happy to hear your advice, Neil Bald. In fact, would you like to get out and have a better look for us? Oh my gosh. What? My heart is racing just looking at this poor guy. Look how far away from home he is. And, like, there's just one button you can push to let go and float away forever in orbit around the moon. Now, probably, I think that we packed, like a jetpack on these guys, but honestly, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure we should not press the let go button, is my main advice to you. Don't let go. EVA report. Look at that, 24 science. Good work. And now get back in before you get your sweaty palms make you slip. Okay, what does the mystery goo have to say about being in orbit around the moon? It seems to be less dense here. 30 science. Great news. And you? Well, same thing, of course. Let's open the materials bay and work on our little science toy. There it is. Open and observe the materials bay. 75 science. Wow. We better get this home. That is a lot of science for being in orbit near the moon. So let's shut the materials bay. And the service bay? No, wrong one. This one is open. No. What is open? I'm confused. Ah, we accidentally left the science thing open and then closed the doors around it. Okay. Now it looks like a proper rocket. We've done all the science we could. 2 mystery goos, crew report, EVA report, and this thing. Great. So, here we are, and we have to execute a burn to get home. What is this maneuver here about? Is that about regularizing, or did we already do that? Do I want to do that? Have we already done that and gone past it? Which way are we going? We're going away from that maneuver. So I'm not sure what this maneuver is all about. Let's just delete it and figure something out. So what's our orbital period anyway around the moon? I don't know. Yeah, we're going this way because we're an hour away from this and 2 hours away from this. So our orbital period looks like about 3 hours if I had to guess. So if we want to go back to the planet, how do I set this as my target, though? Shouldn't I be able to right-click on Kerbin? Because it's showing me my periapsis and apoapsis, but I want to see where my ascending and descending nodes are. So that I can re-regularize. Now, of course, I think we could just add a maneuver here and sort of like burn prograde. That would send us way over that away, huh? Yeah, we would escape munar orbit, but we wouldn't actually go anywhere good. Yeah, that's a bad idea. I don't like this maneuver at all. Yeah, we kind of have to we have to fix our inclination first before we can go home. And I can't figure out how to set Kerbin as my target to do that. So what does the manual have to say about this? I thought you just like right-click on a thing. Map interface, orbit nodes, controls, general controls? Oh, okay. This stuff would have been nice to know about. Oh, you can press F2 to hide the UI visibility? There you go. It's just a perfect picture of space. All right. But we were looking at the manual. Oh, temperature gauges, temperature overlay, aerodynamic force overlay. Cool. But that's not really what I was looking for. Tab? Focus on next item? What are those? What items? Whoa! Oh my goodness. So we can focus on a lot of different things. I don't... Okay, well, that's how we could have fixed our focus problem earlier. We're now focused on our spaceship, but we're way zoomed out. Can we now set Kerbin as a target? Doesn't look like it. That is home. Please make that the target. Can I set that as a target? I can. Okay, let's do that. Does it make sense for that to be our target? That thing doesn't really have... Does the planet... It doesn't really have an orbit from our perspective here on the moon, does it? It's orbiting the sun, I guess. Is that relevant? A little. But, okay, having set that, where are ascending and descending nodes? I want them. Okay, numpad toggles the nav ball visibility. That's nice to know. Numpad period, I guess. But flight directions... yes, the nav ball helps you visualize accurately. Agreed. General flight. Yeah, we know all this stuff. Flight activities? Huh. Okay, we don't really care about this stuff yet. The mouse in flight. On the map, double-clicking sets focus. A single click opens a menu, but it doesn't against Kerbin for some reason. Unset target? So I can double-click to focus on Kerbin, and I can focus back on our rocket, and I can sort of eyeball where our orbital plane, how to fix it, but I really would like it to actually be fixed correctly. And those, just showing me where the ascending and descending nodes are, that's all I need. And to do that, I have to set Kerbin as my target, but I can't find a way to do that. To set something else as my target, I just click on it, and it says set as target. But for Kerbin, I can't do that. What if I zoomed way out and said, I want to set Minmus as my target? I don't want to do that, but if I did want to, it still won't give me ascending and descending nodes. I'm not sure why. That's sort of weird. Okay. So in order to adjust them, I think it actually will be a good idea to circularize our orbit, because it'll be much cheaper to do those adjustments if our orbit is not so large and unwieldy. So let's just, like, I don't know, set this as our target again, unset the target, and add a maneuver for periapsis to burn retrograde until we circularize, which is a height of 11 kilometers. Like so? Come back. That should be good enough. And it's just another 11-second burn, but it'll take us a while to get there. So, let's just... It's hard to see. How do I... Go away. What I want to do is warp to my next encounter, but I can't quite do... Oh, it was encounter, not maneuvers you warp to. Okay. So let's just warp to here. So earlier we kind of had this maneuver planned, but we cut it off early because we didn't think it would be important to get into a regular orbit, but now I think it is. Bring back the nav ball. We're a minute away from this 11-second burn. Turn on... Hello? Oh, we're still warping. Slow down. Turn on SAS in the retrograde direction. Just to bring our orbit in a bit. Maybe if we'd fixed our 0.2 degrees while we were at Kerbin, maybe we wouldn't have to do this regularization here. I don't know. But circles are a lot easier to work with than eccentric ellipses. So this is probably good practice anyway. And we have plenty of fuel to do it, I think. Okay, we're 11 seconds away, so I'm going to wait this time until it gets exactly to the node. And see where our ship is in relation to this as well. Yes, that's exactly when we cross the node, which is not quite what we wanted, but alright. So I thought maybe the node was compensating for how long it was going to take us, but it doesn't seem to be. Stop. And throttle up just a little bit. There we go. So our periapsis is 10 kilometers, our apoapsis is 28. Fine, I can live with it. There might be mountains 10 kilometers high, honestly. Jeez, this is very low orbit. A little bit spooky, honestly. But yeah, that is the moon. Wow. And so what I'm going to do next is try to adjust, see how like we're elliptical here? I think this red line here might happen to be... no, it's not. That's just a line from us to the planet. Where this... We have to bring this down, and I can't tell exactly where the right... Well, let's clear this encounter node, so it doesn't... I can't tell where the ascending and descending nodes are. I can eyeball them, like... It seems like it might be around here, but I would rather do this a bit more scientifically. So I'm gonna save and cut the episode, go look some things up, and next episode we'll fly back to Earth, collect some science, and well, not Earth, you know. What's Earth? I've never heard of Earth. All I know is Kerbin. So it might be a short episode next time, or maybe we'll like do a little more management layer stuff. But so far this flight has been going great, I have to say. As long as we haven't spent too much fuel, which I don't believe we have, we should be okay. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.